Dear student, in this video we will learn about integers. आज हम integers के बारे में जानेंगे. What are integers? All counting numbers, zero and negatives of all counting numbers together forms set of all integers. So all counting numbers. What do you mean by counting numbers? Counting numbers क्या होता है? Okay. For example, if I'll ask question that how many members are there in a family, you may say that there are 3 members in a family, there are 2 members in a family, there are 5 members in a family. So the number which I have used it right now, 2, 3, 5, they are called as counting numbers. And counting numbers start from 1. Okay, counting numbers start from 1. So all counting numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. There are infinite number of counting numbers. There is no end of counting numbers. They are uncountable. So starting counting number is 1. So 1 is called as smallest counting number, and these counting numbers are also known as natural numbers. They are also known as natural numbers. So natural numbers means counting numbers, counting number means natural numbers. So all counting numbers means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on, 0. And negatives of all counting numbers. Negatives of all counting number means negative of the first counting number, that means negative of counting number 1, negative of counting number 2, negative of counting number 3. So negative of counting number 1 is -1, -1. Negative of counting number 2 is -2, -3, -4, -5 and so on. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 are negatives of all counting numbers, and these all numbers together forms integers. Okay, so basically integers are denoted, the set of integers is basically denoted with letter I or Z. Okay, so I can write over here I equals 2. Now we'll make a list of all integers in the curly bracket. Okay, so here we have a 0, +1, +2, +3, +4 and so on. Here we have -1, -2, -3 and so on. So here we have a set of all integers. We cannot make a list of all positive integers, we cannot make a list of all negative integers. Therefore you can see over here we have put here we have some dots over here. This dots represents that there are many more positive integers, but we are unable to make a list of it. And similarly here we have -1, -2, -3 and so on. Here also you can see here we have a dots, right? It means there are many more integers are there, there are many more negative integers are there, there are uncountable negative integers are there, but we cannot make a list of this. So you can say here I is a set of numbers, okay, which are integers. So there are 3 types of integer. One is positive integers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are called as positive integers. Okay, +1, +2, +3, or you can write only 1, 2, 3, okay, and so on are the example of positive integers. They are positive integers. -1, -2, -3, -4 and so on are example of negative integers. And 0 is an integer which is neither positive nor negative. 0 एक ऐसा इंटीजर है ना तो वो पॉजिटिव है ना तो वो नेगेटिव है. So there are 3 types of integers: positive integer +1, +2, +3, +4 and so on, negative integers -1, -2, -3, -4 and so on, and 0 which is neither positive nor negative. We can denote set of integer with the letter I, or you can also write z equals to positive integers. We can write as I plus for integer, but they are positive integers, that's why here we have a plus. -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 are negative integers. You can also write over here I minus. You can see here we have a minus sign, it means they are negative integers. Now we will see comparison of integers. Every positive integer is greater than 0. Okay, every positive integer is greater than 0, like +1 is greater than 0, +2 is greater than 0. तो जो पॉजिटिव इंटीजर होते हैं वो 0 से ग्रेटर होते हैं, एंड 0 is greater than all negative integers. जो 0 होता है वो सभी नेगेटिव इंटीजर से बड़ा होता है. ओके, 0 is greater than each negative integer. 0 is greater than -1, 0 is greater than -200, 0 is greater than -1000. Okay, and positive integer is greater than all negative integers. So every positive integer is greater than negative integers, like +1, it's positive integer, it will be greater than every negative integer, it will be greater than -100 also. So make a note, positive integer is greater than 0, positive integer is also greater than negative integers, 0 is greater than negative integers. Okay, so this relations you have to keep in a mind. Now we will see absolute value of an integer. So what do you mean by absolute value of an integer? So the absolute value of 7, absolute value of 7 we write as, you can see there are two vertical lines, and between these two vertical lines I have written over here 7. So this two vertical sign we can read as modulus. Okay, it is a symbol of modulus. You can see it is a symbol of absolute value. Okay, so how to write absolute value of 7? Just you have to write two vertical lines, and between vertical lines you have to write the number 7. तो हम इसे रीड कैसे करते हैं? Modulus of 7, absolute value of 7, and absolute value of every integer is positive. When you find the absolute value of any integer, you have to ignore the sign. You have to ignore the sign along with the integer. So it's a positive. Absolute value of 7 will be 7. Okay, so absolute value is always positive. Absolute value of all integer is positive integer except 0. Okay, except 0. 0, absolute value of 0 is 0. 0 is neither positive nor negative. Absolute value of 0 is 0, and absolute value of remaining all integers will be positive in value. For example, absolute value of -7 is 7. Okay, absolute value of negative integer will be positive, absolute value of positive will also be positive. Absolute value of -100 equals to 100. Absolute value of -20 equals to 20. Absolute value of 10 equals to 10. So the absolute value of given integer is always positive value. You can see they are positive values, right? So the positive values are called as absolute values of the given integers. Only the absolute value of 0 is 0.